And here we are. This is Boulder Bay. Players are pretty far away from each other. There is a strip of land connecting them, but a lot of the early game focus is on the water. And there's one thing I want to ask you, Lita. I want to see if you've seen this before. The first time I saw this map in Genesis, my strategy would be to fish boom with 2 docks, get a transport ship, go to that island that nobody ever checks, put a dock down there. They're never going to see your fishing ships, and then sacrifice like 3 to your opponent so they think they got all of them.
I
What do
was
you think
thinking
about
about
that?
something like that. Especially when Hawks and French were the meta on this map. I was like, the Hawks are so slow moving that you could potentially conceal your fishing eco somewhere. The alternative is going for the Rush Lodya ships, because they don't need to drop off food at docks, so you can just hide them in a corner and your opponent will never find it with slow moving Hawks. There's a lot of options here that are sort of cheesy. Looks like Kasva is going pretty heavy on the wood, so there is going to be a dock from him. And as expected, MarineLorD is also on the wood already with the Prelate. Somewhat surprising that he chose a woodland that's pretty far away from his town center.
Yeah, maybe he wanted to. I don't know.
I
There
think
was
it's
one
because...
right nearby. I don't really understand, especially since his prelate. Well, maybe because the gold is over there, so he
Yep.
doesn't really want to move his prelate too
Yeah.
far away.
Even if it's not about the Prelate in Dark Age, because you can just micro between those resources anyways, but probably for the Alkin Chapel, because
Yep.
you want to be able to boost your wood and gold income at the same time, so you need them close to each other. Now, you could technically relocate a wood line, so you could have started the one on the right side as well, but this is probably better streamlined here for MarineLorD. Already up with a dock. Only one villager on the shorefish though, which always means that that villager is exposed to a scout aggression.
Okay, dock was a little bit faster for MarineLorD. Fishing ships are now out for both players. Kasva just have questions about what the strategy is for him. Feels like he can't fight in even numbers on the water with the bonuses like you described earlier. For HRE, what is the plan for the Turkish player here?
I feel like he will have to sort of try to play a defensive gameplay on water, use the fact that he can repair his ships in the influence of his docks, try to sort of match MarineLorD's numbers to an extent that he can take okay fights, and simultaneously push on land with the longbows. Because if MarineLorD isn't able to destroy Kasva's fishing eco here, Kasva will have map control, and that's very important because of the relics. Because the follow-up here for the Holy Roman Empire is that they go to Castle Age, start picking up the relics on the land and garrison them into Regnis Cathedral, and that's something that you want to prevent.
Kasva also not fishing from the deep fish,
Ooh,
whereas MarineLorD has 3 of his fishing ships on
that's a
that deep
mistake.
water fish. Yeah.
That's a mistake. It's actually a little deceiving because the 2 droplets of fish look very similar, and you have a way shorter travel distance to shorefish. But even with the longer travel distance, the
They
deep
carry
fish pays
40
off.
fish.
Yep.
Yeah, they carry so much, it doesn't really even make that much of a difference.
Yeah, so basically the deep fish is almost always more efficient. MarineLorD's dock is actually very good here, by the way. It's right next to deep fish, but that's going to be an extra added food income over Kasva, who's also pretty heavy on the sheep, so he definitely wants to nail a very fast feudal age over here using the sheep as well.
Is going to be going for a 5th and a 6th fishing ship. MarineLorD also adding a 6th fishing... I can't even speak. 6th fishing ship. There we go, Lita. I got it. Of his own.
The more I'm looking at Castle, the more I'm thinking fast castle. He's got 4 on gold as well. What if he goes for a fast castle? He could get the food he needs for it using the fish and the sheep by the time MarineLorD arrives. You go with the council hall for longbows, you would get the King's Palace as your Castle Age landmark, so you would have a 2,000 center boom, pretty much. And then you could contest the land and deny the relics from the HRE player. It's risky, but that's something that could work for Kasva.
And there's the scout from MarineLorD. Finding the villager from Kasva is going to chase her away. And he will know the dock location from Kasva. He's also placing his chapel down. Kasva chased his villager away from the dock too. And Kasva is going for the council hall right now. So very similar timings for both players. We'll see who ends up winning the water war that we think is coming. As Kasva is still on the shorefish.
Yeah, that's a problem, and it looks like they're just basically going to mirror each other's builds here. It's going to be standard galley wars. The problem is that in every possible aspect of the game, the HRE will have an advantage on water here.
Capel will be able to influence the wood line. Also will be able to hit that gold. Any farms that MarineLorD maybe forces down. And all these little singular trees around. So that's a great location for that. As he still has a prelate inspiring the wood line right now. Kasva runs into the TC and is forced back a little bit. With the scout, both players about to hit H number 2. MarineLorD, I think will... Nope, Kasva gets there first. Okay.
And now is the moment of truth. Are we gonna see a single longbowman for Kasva, or is it just standard galley rush? Looks like it's standard galley with one dock only. Now, shipwrights could be a nice upgrade for Kasva, and he's grabbing that, so I guess that's
Second
the
dock
idea.
for both.
Is there a second dock? Oh, there it is.
Yeah, second dock foundation from Kasva, and the second dock from MarineLorD is already up. So MarineLorD has one galley on the way, is not producing a second galley yet. Okay, there he goes. Queues up the second galley. So he should have the numbers advantage early on Kasva too. As MarineLorD finds this villager coming forward with his scout, and he's going to deny that dock for a while, and that'll just give him a greater numbers advantage.
Yeah, that's actually a very late second dock for Kasva, because ideally you want to finish it by the time you get to Feudal Age, so you can start making ships on both docks. Honestly, the shipwrights idea might actually work here for Kasva, but there is some risk involved in this build, especially because he only has 6 fishing ships on shorefish, whereas MarineLorD has 9 on deep fish.
Also, it's only 10%. Like, 10% matters when, you know, you're making 10 or 20 ships, but when you only have 2 or 3 on the ocean, it doesn't have that big of an effect, right? You'd rather have an extra galley out quicker.
Especially because the resource income is actually a much bigger benefit here for MarineLorD. So, yeah, MarineLorD won't have the cheap galleys, but he's gonna have way better resource income. So, currently, it's 100 more gold per minute. Food income is actually the same, but MarineLorD's got double the food income, so he's going to progress towards Castle Age a lot faster.
Also has a very cute base. He made those houses around the chapel. I don't know why he did that.
He's not
It
even
looks
playing
nice, though.
Abbasids for the SimCity. And speaking of MarineLorD, he just finished a market and sold a ton of food. This is something that you often have to do on this map. Get a market up and sell your food, because you're floating a lot, but you don't have gold and wood. But at this point, it's 3 galleys versus 4 already, but MarineLorD's got a steady supply of galleys coming in.
Yep, and here's the numbers advantage. He was always going to have this. Kasva got that second dock down late. He went for the shipwright technology, so he should be able to produce more efficiently here now, but MarineLorD with the early control, and he's got 2 more galleys on the way. Kasva about to have the third dock, so that means superior production from him, but the economy for MarineLorD behind it should be superior.
There is an attack upgrade coming in for Kasva that does attack the galleys, so he's gonna have the blacksmith advantage here. But behind this one, MarineLorD already has a ton of food, so at this pace, he could just sit on this lead and go towards Castle Age.
He's also getting additional sales right now. MarineLorD teching into that technology too. Kasva sitting back here, healing up his ships, and I think MarineLorD needs to switch focus to the fishing ships maybe as soon as they start to repair. He has the numbers advantage. I think you get rid of those first, so Kasva has no food economy behind, and then you focus on the ships while you have superior numbers.
Yup, exactly. That's what MarineLorD is doing, and as you said, it's the numbers game right now here for MarineLorD. His ships might be slightly weaker than Kasva's ones because of the lack of attack upgrades, but the sheer numbers are just much greater here for MarineLorD.
However, there's only a third dock coming up now from MarineLorD, and the 4th dock is already complete from Kasva. Plus, he has the cheaper ships. He can't apparently he can't produce from 2 of them, but he's still pumping out numbers. And if it continues at this rate, MarineLorD might be overwhelmed. MarineLord's economy, though, looking pretty good. He almost has 1,000 food in the bank. He's gathering his gold right now, thinking about maybe going up to the next stage.
I think that for MarineLorD, it makes a lot of sense to try and gamble on Castle Age. Because if
Yep.
he gets up to Castle Age, he is going to have a single Hawk destroy Kasva's entire navy.
And he knows that he took out the fish from Kasva too. So it's unlikely that Kasva will be up faster than he is.
Absolutely, and he's got the galley numbers advantage still, so he can just sit back, play defensive, and progress towards Castle. Currently, Kasva's got 6 galleys. MarineLorD's got way more. It's 8, 9.
These ships are dead here from Kasva. Maybe he saves a couple of them. But one will definitely die. Another one will probably follow after that. No, Kasva gets away. He's speedy.
But there is Castle Age. The Ragnitz Cathedral is on the way. There is one relic at the back of MarineLorD's base. And since there is absolutely no land army for Kasva... Oh, there's Longbowmen coming out now. So, there's a chance here. If Kasva can snipe the fishing ships...
I don't think he'll be able to. I think MarineLorD is going to pull these away just on time. And MarineLorD still with superior numbers. Even after researching the cheaper ships for Kasva, even after placing that 4th dock, MarineLorD still has the advantage right now on the water.
Yeah, that's a serious problem for Kasva, especially because even if MarineLorD loses the fishing eco now, he got what he wanted. He's getting up to Castle Age, gets the Ragnitz Cathedral for the gold, although that's a pretty decent fight here for Kasva.
I think the problem for Kasva here is that he doesn't have fishing ships mixed in. MarineLorD does. They can tank some hits or repair if they need to. And I think MarineLorD is one of the best players at pulling back the weakened units and healing them up behind. He's going to take out a ship from Kasva. Another ship follows from Kasva. And he's going to continue pushing. And MarineLorD is now in the Castle Age. Longbows being pushed back by his scout too.
And MarineLorD just needs one stable and a single knight to push all those longbows back. As you said, there is still fishing eco here for MarineLorD. That score difference is, I think, telling the story of this game, because I have no idea how Kasva will ever get to Castle Age in this game.
And here come the demolition ships from MarineLorD.
That's actually a mistake, I believe, because the galleys do have bonus damage against demo ships.
Well, I think if you go right in with your galleys and then send a demo ship, the opponent's galleys have to sit under your fire and attack that. And you can maybe even pull it away and pull them out of position.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's not the worst mistake ever, especially when
No.
you have comparable galley numbers.
It's not a horrible thing. As you said, as an auxiliary unit, it's actually very good. Although Hawks would probably work out a lot better. The thing with the demo is that it has insane damage potential. So
Yep.
the ceiling of that single demo is massive.
I think the biggest thing about demos is it gets in your opponent's head, right? It pulls their units out of position, gives you a more favorable engagement, and he's actually getting the armor for his ships too. So the demos will tank a little bit more shots. He's going in with a demo ship now and with his main navy.
Looks like Kasva's detaching a couple of ships to hit the fishing eco, but that's not going to be a thing. And there's a demo.
Big damage.
The other demo looks like he's on a
There's
break.
another one on the way out from that dock. Oh no,
Oh.
Kasva. This is not the position you want to be in, my
No.
friend. He's gathered up right next to that dock. The demo ship comes out. And they're just going to die anyway, even without that demo.
Yeah, the demo wasn't even really a factor, but now there is Hawks out. There is just a better number of galleys, and from this point on, I feel like we're seeing a massive snowball here. Kaz is working towards Castle Age, but to what end? His opponent already has one relic in the Ragnitz Cathedral, and he's gonna have no trouble getting relic number 2 and 3.
Yep, and his longbows were just pushed away by the single scout from MarineLorD. The land pressure, he didn't really, commit onto that. He didn't really even commit onto water, Lita. He got the researches, and then he wasn't producing from all the docks.
Yeah, at
Never
this
got the
point-
numbers advantage.
At this point, the best thing he can do is give up on the water, try to go to this. But look at that, there's just a single knight here from MarineLorD in that shiny steel armor, and
Yeah.
that's going to delay that Castle Age. That's probably game over here for Kasva,
All
honestly.
the villagers need to run. All 20 of these villagers need to run from that singular knight. Trying to bait him into the town center a little bit. Okay, he does, and he gets some fire. So he will be able to clear that up. The King's Palace is coming down. That'll be a second town center building from Kasva, but all his fish are going to die. Let's see if MarineLorD finds the dock in the north, too. There's a lot of fishing ships there.
Yeah, looks like if Kasva can maybe keep those fishing ships alive, then there might be a glimpse of hope, and he's going to be on 2 town centers, but it's never easy to play against a Ragnace Cathedral that will have 3 relics, even if you started on even terms, and Kasva started quite a bit behind compared to his opponent.
Is that... How much gold per minute is that if you have 3 relics in the cathedral?
That's 900.
900?
Yeah.
900, okay.
The tooltip is wrong because 100 per relic is the base amount in a monastery. You get 3 times, so it's 900 a minute. That's a ridiculous amount. That attributes like 30 or so gold miners.
There's the knight from MarineLorD killing another longbow in the middle. And see, this is what I mean about this map, Lita. If you manage to hide a dock, it seems like people just never explore. Yet, anyway. Until they get punished from it. MarineLorD still hasn't found those fish up there. He might be shifting his ships now. Okay, now he is. Will he find that dock? Yes, he's in range now.
Yeah, he's in range. I feel like even if he isn't looking for hidden fish, he's just looking to prevent a redocking from Kasva. Because you never know if he just wants to go back on water. At this point, Kasva's gonna lose water. And now the good thing for MarineLorD would be to, first of all, add more fish, something that he's doing, but also start trading with that coastal trade post. It's a very, very reliable source of gold, but already has a good enough eco to start flooding out knights.
Does he even need gold at this point? I mean, like, look at the amount he has in the bank. He's got 1,500, and he's getting plus 1,600 a minute.
Yeah.
1,700 now.
This just reminds me of a tweet that Nilly posted, like, a week ago or so. It's like, when you're ahead, get more ahead. That's the only reason why you would add trade here.
Well, that's the classic Viper quote from probably, what, 6 or 7 years ago? I think he said that. That's his philosophy on AoE 2 and an AoE 4 as well, and it's a good one.
MarineLorD is going into Imperial Age, and that's the Palace of Swabia, so it's not like Kasva will ever be able to get an eco advantage because this bad boy is producing villagers at an insane rate and massive discounts. So
Artosis quote, okay. I stand corrected then. Not a big follower of StarCraft 2, so we give Artosis the nod on that quote there, apparently.
Looks like we're seeing Spearman here for Kasva, but MarineLorD is at 72 eco, Kasva is at 57, and oh yeah, the Knights are coming in. This is just getting more and more painful for Kasva.
Yeah, this is over. If this wasn't Game 7, he would have resigned already.
Yep, this is just looking extremely bad. At latest, when MarineLorD reaches Imperial, he's going to resign, because there's no way he ever gets to Imperial here with all that eco rating. And remember, like, Kasva's got no fishing eco, MarineLorD is just fishing away with dozens of fishing ships. Okay, so where did this game slip for Kasva? Was it just the civilization being worse than what MarineLorD has? Or was
second dock being too slow? That is the long. That was. I mean, civilization obviously doesn't match up well, but the second dock was too slow from Kasva, and then he decided to go for that technology to make his ships cheaper, and that delayed him even more. And MarineLorD had the advantage on water the entire game.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I feel like for the last 2 games, we had a disadvantage for Kasva, so MarineLorD may have drafted a little better as well. As, oh boy, Kasva doesn't even have the wood to repair that burning King's Palace.
Yeah, and it's going down quite fast here. He has a lot of villagers queued in that one too, Lita. Oh no.
Oh, this is just so sad. And I mean, at this point, MarineLorD is capturing the sacred site. He's probably like, what else do I need to do for you to resign?
Yeah, he can just play it slow from this point. Kasva is also going to play it slow. He doesn't have that much military to push MarineLorD, and even if he does clear up these knights, there will likely be some infantry behind to back it up, and indeed there is. MarineLorD going for the men-at-arm upgrade. He's going for the heavy maces, and he's got 3 barracks in the middle to push out those infantry units.
Yeah, this is just looking really bad. It's one of those games where you're trying to hold on, but you never really will. Your opponent will have a way better army, way better economy, and there's just no chance to redeem yourself over here.
And there we go. Kasva taps out, and MarineLorD has made the comeback. He was down 2-0 at one point. He was down 3-2 as well. And he ends up staying on. Of course, the series is called Winner Stays On, and MarineLorD with his third set victory. This one a little bit more difficult than the prior ones.
Absolutely, he has to be happy because he was very close to having that streak broken out there. And I'm fairly certain that he's going to look at these wrecks and say, oh yeah, I gotta clean some things up here, because we had some games where he definitely got caught off guard by some strategies from Kasva. Game number 1, he fell to the cheesy Delhi build, or the 5th game, the Abbasid game, where he was just a little too slow voling. He was like,
Yep.
okay, it's Abbasid mirror, double TC boom for both of us, probably, so I can take my time voling. I don't need to wall myself entirely in Dark Age. And then he got surprised by the aggression. But then the comeback in the game where he faced Rus, that's probably was the turning point in the entire set.
I think the good thing from both players' perspectives. So from Kasva's perspective, we saw his intelligence, his creativity coming out with the strategies today. Maybe that final Civ matchup was a bit bad for him, but definitely some innovative strats. And then for MarineLorD, I think even on the losses like game 1 or the Abbasid game, I think if he suspects he might be going up against a strategy like that, he fine tunes a few things early and it doesn't work from this point forward. So great job from both. Really entertaining stuff. Love that we went to a game number 7, and it was a pleasure finally casting AoE 4 with you, Lita. I think this is my second AoE 4 event, so I hope this